Hey everyone! In this video I'll be using Burp Suite Community Edition, which is the free version of Burp Suite, to automate a series of 0-star reviews on an online shop. I will mainly be using Burp Suite Repeater, Burp Intruder, and of course the Burp Proxy. So let's get started. The attack will be done in 2 stages. As you probably know, when you leave a star review, it's usually between 1 and 5 stars, and that's the case with this store I will be targeting. But in the first stage, I'll be using Burp Repeater to exploit an input validation flaw and submit a 0-star review. In the second stage, I will take advantage of a poorly implemented CAPTCHA to scale the attack and automate repeater 0-star reviews. Okay, so first, I'll open the shop in Firefox so we can take a look. It's running locally, so I'm free to explore it as much as I want. If you go to the menu and click on About Us, you will see these reviews showing up below with some rotating pictures. Guys, when doing bug bounties, penetration tests, or anything like that, it's super important to understand how the system works. One tip, always look for forms. Here is a great example. So let's leave a review to see how the system behaves. As you can see here, I can select from 1 to 5 stars. I'll be going with 5, I'm feeling generous today. And I have to solve a CAPTCHA before submitting it. And guys, speaking of reviews, please leave a thumbs up on this video. Every like helps a lot to grow the channel and keep me bringing more tutorials like this. And also it helps others discover this content. So thanks a lot for the support. Alright, so let's check whether the review shows up. And here it is, my 5 stars review. Since I wasn't logged in, it shows as anonymous, but that's okay. Okay, now let's see if we can exploit something here. I will open Burp Suite. If you are using Kali Linux, it probably comes pre-installed. If not, just download and install Burp Suite Community Edition. It's free. It's a staple in offensive security, so if you don't have it yet, go grab it. Here on the Target tab, I will open a browser directly from Burp Suite. This lets us intercept and inspect our HTTP requests and responses as we interact with the shop. There are other ways to do this, but this setup is perfect for our test. So let me go back to the shop and submit a quick review. I will give it 2 stars so we don't confuse this one with the exploit. Okay, now in Burp Suite, under the Proxy tab and HTTP history, I can see all the requests. We are looking for a post request to see what we sent when submitting the review. Okay, found it. On the left, you can see the fields like CAPTCHA ID, CAPTCHA, content, and rating, exactly what you filled in. Okay, so let's test again. I'm really unhappy with the services, so this time I'll give them 1 star. And I will intentionally fail the CAPTCHA to see what happens. So here we go. There it is. We got an error there on the bottom. So let's check Burp. Okay, so the failed request and the response are showing up in here. So let's modify this request. So for this, right click on it and choose Send to Repeater. Now click on the Repeater tab. It turned orange because there is a request waiting there. And it's time to play. I will change the rating from 1 to 0 stars. And now I will solve the CAPTCHA correctly. Click in Send. And aha, success. Let's go back to Chromium and check. Look, it's there. The review says no because the app likely wasn't coded to handle 0-star ratings, but it's accepted anyway. But I'm still unhappy. When I went there to complain, there wasn't even free coffee. So let's be evil here. Let's automate a bunch of 0-star reviews. So now we'll be using the intruder. But actually, before diving in, let's go back to the repeater here and let's try another request here. And it says success. So looks like we are able to reuse the same CAPTCHA ID and it keeps working. And yep, the review is here, so this CAPTCHA is garbage. Now let's go back to Burp and change the CAPTCHA ID to something else and see what happens. Error, just as expected. So as long as the CAPTCHA ID and the answer match, it works even if reused. Now let's right click on it and send to Intruder, and let's go to the Intruder tab. And here we have to choose the part of the request where we want variation. I use the review text and click Add. Now under the Payloads tab, I will set it to generate numbers from 0 to 99, just enough to see the action. Click Start Attack. Since we are on the free version, Burp warns that the attack will be slow. With the pro version, this would be lightning fast. Let's take a look. So looks like requests are going through. Now back to the app. And look at that, a bunch of new reviews appeared, just like we wanted. But now how can we fix these vulnerabilities? For the 0-star review, we should add a simple if check on the server side to ensure the rating is an integer between 1 and 5. If not, return an error. I've just added that fix here, so let's try to submit another 0-star review to check what happens. So first let me apply the fix, and then I will run the server again. So first I will try a normal review to check whether the customer feedback form is working. Okay, looks like it's working. And here is my review. Okay, now back to Burp Suite to check whether I can send a 0-star review from here. Request sent, and look, we got an error, exactly the one I programmed into the if. So the lesson learned here, don't validate only on the client side, always validate on the server side too. Now take a look at this. So here it is. I can still reuse CAPTCHA IDs. Now if I can still automate a bunch of 1-star reviews, that's still a problem, so let's fix that CAPTCHA. Here in the apps code, the CAPTCHA validation just calls next if the answer is correct. So let's update that. I will add a line CAPTCHA.destroy, which basically deletes the CAPTCHA after use, make it one time only. Alright, so let me apply the fix and restart the server so we can test the fix. Okay, so first let me try a normal customer feedback. Alright, I managed to submit a review normally, so let's try reusing the same CAPTCHA for another review. Submitting this time with 0 stars, just to show what error comes first. And look, it's a CAPTCHA error. It didn't even check the star rating because the CAPTCHA is no longer valid, so the fix worked just fine. There are other things we can implement too, like adding expiration time for CAPTCHA tokens or switch to a more robust CAPTCHA system. And if you have other ideas for improvements, make sure to drop them in the comments too. If you want to try this attack yourself with a safe web app, check out my video how to create your own hacker lab with Kali and OWASP Juice Shop, link in description. Guys, if you like this content, remember to like this video to support the channel, subscribe, turn on notifications, and see you next video.